July 25th, 2017. In under 10 minutes, Ghatkopar's Sai Darshan Housing Society collapsed like a pack of cards, killing 17 people, injuring over 50, leaving many homeless. Now, a week later, highly placed sources in the BMC tell Mirror Now that the accused, Sunil Shitap, had faked a structural audit report to get permission to redevelop the building.
Sunil Shitap had carried a structural audit of the society way back in 2015 and had submitted false reports categorically stating that the building is weak and it needed urgent renovation.
Residents of the Sai Darshan Housing Society had also commissioned a counter-structural audit, a copy of which is with Mirror Now. This clearly shows the building was structurally safe and in need of minor repairs that were carried out. However, Shitap allegedly went ahead with his renovation to turn the nursing home into a bar, an act that allegedly led to this colossal man-made tragedy.
Total 15 flats है. 15 फ्लैट्स में से शीतप के 4 फ्लैट्स छोड़कर उसने खुद बोला कि मेरे फ्लैट का मत करो, तुम लोग, मैं अलग से करूंगा.
क्लैरिफाई करना चाहूँगी, जो यहाँ पर मुझे देख पा रहे हैं, मेरे बिल्डिंग वालों को देख पा रहे हैं, बिल्डिंग वाज नॉट इन अ डेंजरस कंडीशन.
Mirror Now's expose reveals shocking lapses, raising questions that the government and the civic body have to answer. While the Chief Minister has promised temporary relief, victims will get temporary accommodation, apart from the ex gratia promised by both Fadnavis and Narendra Modi. The aftermath of the man-made tragedy is agonizing.
वहाँ पर मेरे ज़मीन के नीचे सब वाइबल हो गया पूरा, और बाहर लेफ्ट साइड से आवाज़ आने का विंडो की तरफ से कि भागो भागो कि बिल्डिंग गिर रही है. और जैसे मैं भी बाहर सीढ़ियों की तरफ उतरने लगा, उस टाइम पे सीढ़ी वहाँ पर धंसना चालू हो गई, यानी शहर के जो भी था वो धंसना चालू हो गया था. और मैं दरवाजे से जस्ट बाहर आया था और ऐसा करके खाली मैं हाथ मैंने ऊपर करके आई राजा उदो उदो बोल के ऐसा जस्ट नीचे आया हूँ. विदिन 2 सेकेंड के अंदर पूरी बिल्डिंग कोलैप्स हो गई है.
Mirror Now investigations reveal the rot within, corruption that killed 17 people and rendered several homeless. Despite glaring proof, why is there no action taken by the government apart from the initial face-saving arrests? Mirror Now report.
Well, there are several problems right now that are coming up from the Ghatkopar home collapse, and there is a reason why we're taking this up. Here are the things that have actually come up at this point. Sunil Shitap had no license to operate a nursing home to begin with. He was operating a nursing home on the ground floor of that building. He then conducted a fake audit saying that the building was weak and needed repairs immediately, it needed redevelopment immediately so that he could start construction. 4 days before the building collapsed, just 4 days before the building collapsed, BMC officials visited the construction site and came away saying that there is no construction taking place. There obviously was construction taking place, and residents have told us so. The building then collapsed. We have also discovered that the contractors who were doing the construction, Ranjit Adal and Anil Mandal, have no experience in renovation and have no degrees whatsoever. They are not qualified to renovate a building. Ranjit Adal has now been named a prime accused and he's absconding. Sunil Shitap has been arrested. Our question is, the 3 BMC officials who visited that building 4 days before it collapsed and decided and certified that there is no construction taking place, while there obviously was, shouldn't they also be named co-accused? This is important for all of us. We all live in buildings. There is a lot of illegal construction that happens either in your building or the one next to it. It obviously happens because someone in your municipal corporation has been bribed. But look at the price that ordinary citizens have to pay. Entire families have been wiped out. Life savings have been wiped out. People have lost all of their belongings. All because one man was too greedy and one municipal corporation was too corrupt. How do we get accountability as citizens? And how do we hold the right people accountable? I also want to remind you of a couple of things. The Shiv Sena, which runs the BMC, has taken a call this evening not to talk about this subject. Remember, Sunil Shitap is part of the Shiv Sena. Also, The BMC itself has decided not to reveal the names of the officials who visited that building and signed the document saying that there's no construction taking place. These are details that we are going to hunt after until we get them. But in the meantime, joining me on the show, Bhalchandra Shirsat, Vice President of the Mumbai BJP, Clyde Crasto, spokesperson of the NCP. Binita Ramchandani is a survivor of the building that collapsed. We're very, proud of the fact that she's come forward to share her story, and we want to get her justice as soon as possible. Sulakshana Mahajan is a town planner. Rajiv Mishra is an RTI activist. For our viewers watching at home, you can either pick up the phone and call us. Our phone number is at the bottom of your screen, or you can join in on invol.in as well. Those details are on your screen. Just log in on your phone, click on Mirror Now, and leave us a comment. It will automatically pop up on the screen. I'm going to go first to Sulakshana. I'm going to go first to Binita, who's the survivor. Binita, you're obviously displaced. You've lost a lot of your neighbors. Tell us what you're expecting from the government. We know that the Prime Minister has announced an ex gratia amount. So has the Chief Minister. And now the Home Minister Maharashtra has said that you will be given alternate housing. We're grateful to the government for these announcements. What else do you want right now, Sulakshana?
First, nothing happens with the announcements. All I want is a proper commitment. I agree there might be a number of things which are working out behind. But what about the promises? When am I supposed to get a home? It's almost 7 days. Today was the ill-fated day, exactly a week before when this tragedy occurred. It's been 7 days, there has been only announcements. I have been regularly following what is happening. Today, Prakash Mehta ji has again said that within 250 to 300 meter radius, I will be given a temporary home. But when is my bigger question? Come up with a deadline. Say me that it is going to be 20 days. Say me that it is going to be 20 years. Say me that it is going to be not in this life, maybe 200 years. Please give me a correct statement. Let my mom and dad do not, take this as a ray of hope and later it comes crashing down. If today, for getting a temporary home, I am going to wait for 10 days, what about the commitment that we got saying that the redevelopment work will be starting after 10 days? Today I might sound very agitated because I know what I'm going through. I know what my family is going through. I know how I'm leaving my 2-year-old kid at home and running from one pillar to post, helping them with the investigation. It's been a very tragical thing that has happened with me. And I truly believe that this nightmare, nobody should go. Nobody on this earth should go with this nightmare.
Well, Binita, given everything you're going through, thank you for joining us on the show. I want you to help our audience understand what you're going through right now, what your surviving neighbors are going through. There are families who have lost almost everyone. They've lost parents, they've lost children. Tell us what people are going through so that people at home can understand.
I'm sorry, but just couldn't control my emotions here. I'm trying to be really strong each and every day. There is something that I'm putting up on Facebook so that people understand what we are going through. The tragedies, there is a family, Mr. Lalit Thak's family. Everybody is dead. He's alone. He considers me as my sister. He sits and cries with me every single day to understand what should I do, Didi. Today he got a wedding album. He didn't understand what to do with that wedding album. What did the 3-month-old sweet little girl do to you that you ended up killing with a planned murder is what I call this case as. I remember my dad going to Mr. Shitap and talking, and there are building people who went to Mr. Shitap and said, do not do this, there will be a problem. All he had to say, that power drunk goon had to say was, I have police in one pocket and I have BMC in one pocket. I know each and every one top from the BMC. Today, I wish to question on this show, which are the officials from the BMC who came and helped Mr. Shitap? Give us their names. Faya, as you clearly said in the beginning, that there are certain officials from the BMC who came and before 4 days of the collapse. I want to see their eyes. With what eyes did they actually see that happening? There was proper construction work that was happening. We are doing that investigation along with the investigation team appointed by Mr. CM. We are supporting them, getting all the information that is needed just to help them. I wish to understand and get their names out of the 4 officials or whoever the officials came 4 days back then who claimed saying that no construction was being out. I'm really sorry, I'm being very, very loud, but at the same time, I'm truly irritated of what is happening with my life, and everyone around me is so much empathetic and supporting me. I think I'm strong today is only because people supporting me.
Well, Binita, I want you to know that the entire city, the country supports you right now. People across the country support you right now. We support you right now. We also had a situation here where the Shiv Sena on this show distanced itself from Sunil Shitap and said he's not a part of the Shiv Sena. Did he at any point claim to be part of a political party? Did he at any point claim to have, important and powerful friends and claim to be able to get past the BMC and the police without any trouble?
So, like I said, this, when my dad had spoken to him, he had claimed that मैं शिव सेना का नेता हूँ, तुमको जो करने का कर लो. What I have read about him also, his wife has conducted elections. Today I fail to understand that if he was a Shiv Sena leader, why is Shiv Sena not coming and talking to us about it? Today Shiv Sena, they are saying that Shiv Sena is saying that he was not at all a part of it. What the reports are saying that his wife has contested elections for Shiv Sena. Now I am into a trouble to understand why are we moving from one pillar to post. Our basic necessities are not in place. My dad actually cries like a kid sitting next to me saying that Binita, my home is gone. My mother gets up in the night in the middle of something and says that Divya auntie, I spoke to her just 3 days back, she's no more. What did you do? Just because of your own interest, you have taken lives of 17 innocent people.
Well, we're at a loss for words other than the fact that we will chase this down until we make sure that these families are given the homes that they were promised and they're given the justice, and that's more important right now. I want to bring in Bhalchandra Shirsat. Bhalchandra Shirsat, as a representative of the Mumbai BJP, please respond to Binita and the other families that are aggrieved in this particular case. This is pure and simple corruption that has killed 17 people. What is the response right now?
See, very sad incidents have happened, and it is man-made mistake. It's not accident. It is calamity created by a human, dadagiri. Sunil Shitap is 100% Shiv Sainik. He is office bearer of North East constituency, Sahakar Sena. He is in charge of that, Pramukh of that. He is Adhyaksha of that area for Sahakar Sena cooperative cell of Shiv Sena. His wife was candidate for Shiv Sena, so he was with Shiv Sena. 5 years back he was with MNS, and he himself contested election from the same area on MNS ticket. So he was connected with political parties, that is definite. But basically he was basically mafia of unauthorized construction. He has done a lot of unauthorized constructions in Ghatkopar, Bhandup and Mulund, Powai.
So tell me something, Mr. Shirsat. The officials who went to this building on the 21st and certified that this building does not have any construction, would you say these officials are corrupt?
100%. Why? I'll tell you. Because in the complete zone, he had multiple activities of unauthorized construction,
okay,
big hotels, and all these activities were hands in gloves with all the...
Why are we not being given the names of these officials?
There are officials of N-Vault, officials of S-Vault, and officials of T-Vault. The building factory department. Now it is very easy to name them. Who are the officers available in position for the concerned area? Wherever this building is there, there is one vault for which one junior engineer is there, one sub-engineer is there, one assistant engineer is there. They are responsible for that. They must have visited. It is not the case that engineer from neighboring area will visit there, or people are not in municipal corporation. Everybody has his own beat of working. So they work in their beat.
The municipal corporation reports to the municipal commissioner, all of the officials.
Yeah.
The municipal commissioner reports to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Is it not possible for the Chief Minister of Maharashtra to extract these names right now from the BMC?
100%,
possibly.
100% it is possible.
In minutes
it is being done. Now departmental inquiry. See, there is executive wing and political wing. Now municipal commissioner has already ordered inquiry, preliminary inquiry is right now going on in involved, right now, with the senior officers of corporation. With the report of preliminary inquiry, then FIR would be lodged against even the officers, as well as the special inquiry task force, if it is required, it will be constituted. Those decisions will be taken in next 15 days time.
Why 15 days?
Because
6 days, no? Since the building collapsed, and it takes 6 days to find the names of these people who are in charge there, the junior officers or the people concerned who visited the site. 6 days.
Well, let me just take Binita in one more time. Binita, you've heard the response from Mr. Shirsat, who represents the BJP in Mumbai. The Shiv Sena won't talk about it to you or to me right now. What is your response to the answers that you're hearing?
So, yes, like I said, I want to know the name of the people. If they have really come, please give me the name of the people. I would want to personally go and say them, what did they see? Because I know, my dad might be lying. Everybody in the building is lying. From the first floor, Sadhna auntie is lying. Everybody is lying. What is it happening? Where are we heading to? We are the citizens of this country. Today, everything is there in this country is all due to people. Why are people being, treated this fashion?
Why are people being treated in this fashion? And a call out to the Shiv Sena to come forward and talk about this. Clamping down and not responding will not make the problem go away. Clyde.
To begin with, again, I'm struggling for words, because after listening to Binita and don't know, I just don't know what, I suddenly feel that I'm living in a city where there are, so many heartless people there, that just to, earn a little extra money, you go ahead and, play with the lives of other people. But having said that, I guess after seeing what has happened, we all need to, come together and try to find a way that, a repeat has not happened. There's no repeat like this. So I just, while listening to Binita, I just made a few points. First and foremost, we need to find out who gave the structural audit to Shitap. Because if there is a structural engineer who's going around taking extra money and giving fake structural reports to people, this company or this gentleman or this person, I'm going to call him gentleman in a sarcastic way, is actually like a termite kind of kill the buildings and the people in this city. So we need to find out first and foremost who gave this structural audit to Shitap. Secondly, why two structural audits? Because from what your reports are saying, that the building people had a structural audit, and Shitap refused to adhere to what they were saying. They said, I will make a separate structural audit. How can you have two structural audits for a building? And specifically when his flats are on the ground floor, because that's the foundation where it starts from. So you cannot have two structural reports. So having said that, now when you're going back and trying to figure out what actually happened, you need to compare the structural audit done by the residents and the structural audit given to by Shitap, because there is a lot of,
we can keep comparing a lot of things, but the truth is that this entire system is full of corruption. It's full of people making a quick buck over somebody else's life. And now that quick buck has come to a stop. And now Shitap and these officials in the BMC and these particular so-called architects who were not really architects, who were doing the work, have to be made examples of. So that in the future, whenever a BMC official thinks of signing something and taking money for it, whenever a so-called architect decides to do work, he doesn't realize that they put the fear of law in them, because obviously these people have no fear of God in them. So the fear of law should be placed in the hearts of these people so they never ever take things in their own hands again. Rajiv Mishra, let me just bring in Rajiv Mishra and I'll come back to you. Rajiv Mishra.
मैं आपको एक बात बताना चाहता हूं कि इस मुंबई शहर में एक सिताब मौजूद नहीं है, हजारों सिताब मौजूद हैं। और दूसरी बात कि जो ऑफिसर्स की आप बात करें, जिस तरह के ऑफिसर्स के एटीट्यूड इस केस में देखने को मिल रही है, उस तरह के हजारों केसेस आपको देखने को मिलेंगे जहां ऑफिसर्स की नेग्लिजेंस पूरी तरीके से रहती है और इल्लीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन को या इल्लीगल माफियाज को ये लोग बढ़ावा देने में लगे हुए हैं। ये एक सिताब की बात नहीं है। और रही बात ये जो पॉलिटिशियन, जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी की तरफ से हमारे सामने मौजूद है, मैं तो बोलता हूँ ये लोग घड़ियाली आंसू बहाते हैं। मैं आपको बताता हूं ये लोग बीएमसी में सभी पार्टी के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव मौजूद हैं। अभी सिरसाट साहब तो बहुत सीनियर बीएमसी के मेंबर रह चुके हैं। ये बोल रहे थे कि जो सिताब था वो एक माफिया है, वो एक इंक्रोचमेंट में बादशाह है, इस तरह की बातें बोल रहे थे। आप बताइए आपकी पार्टी के कितने लोगों ने बीएमसी में उसके खिलाफ कंप्लेन किया? आपकी पार्टी के कौन कौन से लोग हैं जो सिताब के खिलाफ आवाज उठाए, या ऐसे सिताब के खिलाफ कंप्लेन करने वाले कितने लोग हैं? और कार्रवाई नहीं होती है तो यूडी मिनिस्ट्री आपके चीफ मिनिस्टर के पास है। आप में से कितने लोग चीफ मिनिस्टर के पास कंप्लेन किए कि इस तरह की बातें हो रही है और उस पर कार्रवाई नहीं हो रही है, और म्युनिसिपल ऑफिसर्स जो है इसके लिए जिम्मेदार है उनको सस्पेंड किया जाए? कितने लोगों ने मांग किया है? आप लोग तो इतने
क्वेश्चन मिस्टर शिरसत जवाब दे दीजिए। अगर आपको मालूम था कि इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रही थी और आपने बोला कि बहुत सारी जगहों पे इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन थी, आपने कंप्लेन क्यों नहीं की?
See, already there are a lot of complaints registered against Shitap, but law is taking its own course. Cases are in the court. Recent complaint.
How many complaints by the BJP workers? How many complaints by the BJP workers?
I'm coming to that. Just hold on. Just try to understand. Just 3 months back, this Sunil Shitap started construction on recreation ground open plot in Sanghani Estate, Ghatkopar West, by procuring permission from N-World by virtue of so-called court order, and that was stopped by Honorable Housing Minister Prakash Mehta by writing a complaint letter and giving instructions to Municipal Commissioner, and because of which Assistant Commissioner of N-World was suspended and that activity was stopped, for which permission was given by N-World based on the directions of the court. So Shitap is manipulating not only court through advocates, not only municipal officers, he is manipulating not only Shiv Sena, Manse, he is doing everything.
I ask you this question. I ask you this question. I ask you this question, Shirsat Saab. I ask you this question every time you come on to the show. Our Chief Minister promised us a transparent BMC.
Yeah.
Where is that transparent BMC? Why is it you're sitting on the show telling me about corruption like as if you are also a victim? Your party is also part of the BMC. The Shiv Sena is your ally in the state government. Where is the transparency that was promised to the citizens of the city? Where is the transparency that was promised to Binita and her father and her mother and the people in her building who've lost their lives? There's a 3-month-old child who has died. Imagine what that parent must be going through. There is a man who has lost his wife, his child and his mother in a split second. Where is the transparency that was promised to us? Please tell us.
See, let me not respond to the incidents. Incidents is extremely bad. But let us come to the transparency and corruption in municipal corporation or everywhere. See, it has become a habit. We are removing H, a bit remains. Removing A, bit remains. Removing B, it remains. It will take time. We are trying to become this transparent in state government. We are trying to force administration in municipal corporation. So many years of habit is there. So many years of habit is there. And it will take time. In the meantime, such incidences have happened, which has costed a life. And then we are raising our voice. I have given you example of unauthorized construction by court order and involved permissions were stopped by the minister.
So then, if he was doing unauthorized construction, why didn't you file a criminal complaint? Why is that man not in jail? Rajiv Mishra.
Filing a criminal complaint, he doesn't go to the jail. It takes time. It takes time. Procedure is going on. Even in hotel.
Let me also bring in Sulakshana Mahajan. Sulakshana
साहब, आप जिस मिनिस्टर्स की बात कर रहे हैं प्रकाश मेहता की, उस प्रकाश मेहता को हाई कोर्ट ने कितना जबरदस्त तरीके से डांटा है उनको इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन के बचाव करने को लेकर के। आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं सिरसाट साहब? आप सब लोग अपने अपने गिरबान में झांक के तो देखो। ये झूठ बात है क्या कि हाई कोर्ट ने डांटा है प्रकाश मेहता को? और हाई कोर्ट ने इंक्वायरी करने की बात कही थी कि वो पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके मदद किए कि नहीं?
नहीं, अब मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं।
देखो, अब देखो,
let me bring it 1 second. Sulakshana Mahajan. Sulakshana Mahajan is a town planner. Sulakshana Mahajan, this is unfortunately the truth of it. The two people who were actually conducting this renovation did not have engineering degrees. They did not have architectural degrees. They were completely unqualified. They did not have permissions. They were bribing their way through their process, and that costed lives. The entire system is corrupt, Sulakshana.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you. The entire system is absolutely corrupted. And one thing is sure, that the local people or the buildings or the small tenement building is so distant from the authority like BMC that it is impossible for BMC to have a dialogue or the people to have dialogue with the BMC. Now, the question is that people are suffering, people are dying, and buildings are collapsing, and this is just we are sitting on a big volcano where Mumbai can have multiple collapses in few months, and we are sitting on a real volcano. But my concern is, what is the solution? How do we come out of this big mess that has been created by the law and the BMC and the corruption and the politicization of the whole development process? So my request is that we need to consider localized governance for each building. For example, the building which has collapsed had about 15 members, and one member could hold 14 members at ransom. Now, my question, or the authority should have been with all 14 members to give permission, and not the officer of BMC or even the consultants which have been appointed by the party which want to carry out repairs should not have been done. It should be done by the building authority. The 15-member collaborative effort should have been there to appoint consultant of their own choice, get the audit done for the structures, and then slap it on the person who wants to do the repairs. But since everything has been removed from the building owners and the members of the building, and every onus has been passed on to the corrupt officers or corrupt politicians or even the involved politicians, I think they have become unnecessarily strong, and they are taking, they can't manage the whole city of 1 crore, more than a crore.
The truth is, Sulakshana, this is the truth in all cities. When we complain as citizens about people in our neighborhood, the police does nothing. The municipal corporation does nothing.
So we should not,
ministers do nothing. I have personally complained in the city of Bangalore against someone who's using an empty plot to create a slum. And the ministers, up till the very highest point of the state government in Bangalore, has done nothing. Because they are all in on it. And these are all their friends. And if people really meant to do something about it,
I agree.
They would have done something. But I want to go back to Binita here. Binita?
Yes, there are two different kinds of problems. An empty, let me speak. When there is an empty plot, there is no ownership of the plot, or ownership of the plot is with government, and there is the neighbors can complain. But we are talking about the Ghatkopar building, where the building is owned collectively by 15 people, and they could have 14 people who are not really involved in repairs, and one person is holding 14 people at ransom. These 14 people should be authorized to give permission or reject permission, but they have to enforce their own rights. As a cooperative society,
let me go back. Let me go back to Binita. Binita, I have two questions for you. I want to ask you question number one. Has there been an FIR filed against the BMC inspectors, the officials who came and inspected the building? Have the police registered any sort of FIR against these officials? And secondly, has the building managing committee gotten together in some way to seek justice where they were told by this person, by Shitap, that he is with the Shiv Sena and he can get away with whatever he wants to get away with?
Yes. So first, I want to update you that many a times, it was not only for the 1 or 2 times that we had a problem with Shitap. Shitap has always been a pain point in the building. It's not only 1 or twice that we have went and told him, don't do something like this. Before I got married and I shifted to Hyderabad, this has been my home since my childhood. I've been born and brought up here and then I got married. So this is the place that I lived in. During that time also, Shitap had taken the entire water connections which was from the building. We didn't have water since I used to stay on the 4th floor. Water never used to come, and exactly the statement that he told me, I'll repeat it for you. Do teko jo karne ka kar. Pardon me if I'm speaking in Hindi because exactly the statement I want to repeat it out to you. Teko jo karne ka hai tu kar. मैं शिवसेना का हूँ, मैं बड़े-बड़े नेताओं को जानता हूँ, BMC मेरे जेब में है. This is the attitude that the guy had. And talking about the second thing, there was never an NOC taken from the residents of the society. First, all I understand with my little brain is that if you ever want to do a construction in the building or any kind of a renovation, you need an NOC. Where was this NOC? Who gave the NOC? Residents never ever signed the NOC. He himself wrote the NOC, he gave it to the BMC, and the BMC happily agreed with a blind eye. How is that possible?
How is it possible? Indeed. And, and my question to you, Binita, is there an FIR that has been filed against the BMC officials who came in and did an inspection 4 days before the collapse?
Yes. Immediately, the day when, my dad got to know that, they had actually come and they are saying that no construction was there. Immediately, the same day of the incident, my dad, Mr. Bhalchandra Ramchandani, was the first one to file an FIR. They were sitting in the police station for nearly 4 to 5 hours after the collapse to understand and make police people understand what exactly were the series of events. So yes, each and everything is there in the FIR copy.
Clyde?
I just wanted to point out a few things. One of the reasons why I've not been interjecting what Mr. Shirsat is saying, because today let's not make this a political slugfest here, because there's a big tragedy and we need to find answers to this, because we can't keep fighting like this all the time. We need to find answers. Now the point here is, from what Binita was saying, how Shitap had an influence on the BMC. One of his properties in Powai was built on a Mahada plot which was actually leased to the Shipping Corporation of India, and a whole structure was built up. There was a bar and restaurant that had come up. The question here is, you do minor things around the city and the BMC officials are there at your doorstep. This person has gone and built like a 2-story or 1-story structure and running a restaurant, and no one ever said anything to him. I mean, the questions have to be raised. The other thing that I wanted to point out here is, whenever a beam and column structure has to be repaired, it has to be done under the supervision of a structural engineer. So the fact that there was no structural engineer there and this BMC official visited there, he knew that something wrong was going on. Therefore, he said there was no structural work or construction work going on there. So we need to do this right now and take this seriously.
Clyde, your father was a councillor a long time ago in Mumbai. Tell me something. What is the role of a councillor of Ghatkopar in this particular case? What could the councillor have done? What should he have done?
Well, the most important part for a councillor is a councillor cannot reach each and every building every day. So if he had received a complaint from the residents, his job was to immediately go and talk to the officials in the BMC and check if there was a structural audit. If the structural repair was carried on like this year, he should have made sure that the reports were presented to the BMC, and if the work was done under a supervision. Right. I think the corporator obviously was compromised. The corporator knew what was going on. Therefore, they didn't do anything.
Benita, at any point, did you or anybody else in the building complain to the councillor of Ghatkopar, which in this case is Hardik Shah?
No, not Hardik Shah. Archana Bhalerao.
We haven't given any complaint per se to the councillor, but yes, at the same time, I want to bring to your notice that yes, structural audit was done in 2015 mid, where they had clearly stated from a structural engineer, they clearly stated that building was not dangerous and not in a dilapidated condition, which absolutely clears that it was only because of tampering with the middle pillars that building actually came down collapsing just like this when you actually tamper the middle pillars. Just one last thing, I want to take a minute from you and explain one last thing. My mother had recently gone down, and Sadhna auntie, who stays on the first floor, she's on the first floor, she hears the drilling every other day. She is alone, a widow. She had also gone down and told him, please thoda aaram se karo, bahut problem ho rahi hai, I am facing lot of issues, I cannot sleep. To that extent, the renovation work was going on. When my mother had gone, she had actually seen, and she actually recollected and told me after she came from the hospital, Binita, it became a plain hall. There was nothing in between that. And I said, what? There was nothing. She actually saw it and she witnessed it. And today she's alive and she shared this with me.
I want to bring in some of the viewers who've called in on our phone lines. Ismail is on the phone line from Mumbai. Ismail, go ahead.
Hello. Yes. Ms. Faye, I'm very disappointed and very disheartened seeing what is happening in Bombay. I have small flats. People are paying, I'm paying 19,000 rupees property tax every year. But what we are getting from BMC, I would say the whole responsibility lies on Uddhav Thackeray. All these politicians and corporators, the last 25 years ruling the BJP Shiv Sena, have only their main target is to how to take money from builders, and the political nexus is there. And all infrastructure is spoiled in Bombay. And I've never seen Uddhav Thackeray. The big, I know one leader in Shiv Sena is Uddhav Thackeray. We see him on all the hoardings and boardings. But never comes in the media to apologize. Just sorry. So my corporator is responsible and he will dismiss from Shiv Sena and catch the culprits. So I want these politicians, our leaders, to act and show us transparency. Because we have fed up. We want to file appeal in the Supreme Court against such corporators and BMC officials. Because they are destroying our the people, hardworking Bombayites pay the maximum tax in India. And what do we get? Our lives are not value?
Yes.
So
there's no value for life. Babu Rao is on the phone line from Bangalore. Go ahead.
Good evening, Faye.
Good evening.
And see, while waiting for me to get the chance to speak, I am in tears. I am 65-year-old. And when Binita is really crying there, and there are two gentlemen sitting there from different parties, and it is 7 days since they have been suffering, the least I would have expected is that these parties, irrespective of whichever party is ruling, they would have taken those sufferers to at least a decent hotel. And all these parties, you look at it, in Bangalore, they are hosted 42 MLAs in a posh golf ground. This is how the governance is. And I think we have lost humanity. And this is not just a tragic limited to Bombay. When I see going around Bangalore and see many buildings, they are all due for this kind of things. Yes. And the first thing the party should get together is catch the culprit, put them behind the bars.
Right, you're very right. Ramurthy is on the phone line from Pune. Ramurthy, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Good evening.
It's a very sad incident. Very sad incident. You know, the government should not wait for any such thing. They should get into action as soon as possible. And the culprit should be punished in such a way. It should set an example for others not to do such kind of negligence and repeat the negligence and do these things actually. On top of it, the indirectly or directly, BMC and police all involved. The person's property should be, it should be confiscated, sold, and it should be given as a compensation to who lost their life, as well as the people who lost the property. In fact, no delay should be made for all these things.
But that's the suggestion right now, Mr. Shirsat, that Sunil Shitap's personal property be confiscated by the government, be auctioned off, and the money be used to compensate those who lost their lives and those who lost all of their belongings in 5 minutes.
Yes, compensation should be given to the victims. Definitely, Prime Minister Office has done, Chief Minister Office has done. Now rehabilitation. Immediately, alternate accommodation, temporary accommodation. It will be done in 8 days. It is identified within Ghatkopar area. 74 PAPs are available. Although they are not in a very good atmosphere and not a big place just like they had there.
Mr. Shirsat, can I...
Second level is construction on site. Now construction on site, Mr. Parag Shah, who is municipal councillor of Ghatkopar BJP from not that area, adjoining area, he has promised he is also a developer. He will develop the complete building free of cost wherever it is as it is. The size of the building same as earlier, flat same as earlier, without taking a single naya paisa. He has offered that services. Only permission should be given by the municipal councillor for the sale. Otherwise, he'll bear the cost.
Faye, I like to get in here. And I think Binita, I think you need to come in on this one also. The Chief Minister announced that within 2 days they're going to give you accommodation. Now Mr. Shirsat goes ahead and say give a few more days. So we are going to have days after days. I mean, it's been 6 days. Mr. Shirsat, listen,
you don't understand.
I don't want to politicize this.
No,
I really don't want to. I don't want to politicize
this. Politicizing. 3 days went for
Mr. Shirsat. Then why say 2 days?
No.
Why say 2 days?
No. See, this is NCP style.
I don't want to argue.
This is NCP style.
Today I am not going to argue.
3 days we were in the hospital. People were clearing the debris, getting the material. Now it is cleared. Now they should be given temporary accommodation.
I don't want to politicize this.
Even 5 lakh rupees from the CM fund, but it will come to the account. It will come to the account.
Okay, no, tell me this. Yeah. So if I agree, for 3 days people were in the hospital, debris was being cleared, but how should that in any way delay the process of providing alternate accommodation?
Absolutely. The alternate accommodation has been identified. People have been identified. They have to come forward and it will be given to them.
So you're saying they haven't come forward yet?
No. They have to report to the municipal office, sign the documents and take the possession.
Okay, so you hang on. So one second. You are telling me. One second.
Already informed.
You are telling me that these people lost their homes. It's not even. No. One second. Hear me out.
Corruption is because of NCP.
One second. Don't start this on my show. I don't care.
NCP
Gentlemen,
is responsible for the illegal hotel.
Mr. Shirsat,
NCP responsible.
One second. Calm down. You, the two of you can spend enough time blaming each other. We all know that all political parties are the same. My question to you, Bhalchandra Shirsat, we are talking about families who lost everything because of corruption within the BMC.
Yes.
You are now telling me if these families want alternate accommodation, they have to go to the BMC office, they have to claim, they have to sign. Are you telling me that those same BMC officers who took the trouble to come in and sign a false certificate cannot take the trouble to come and meet these families where they are and give them the accommodation?
They are not at one. See, let me tell you one thing. They are not at one place. They are not available in one building.
If you had given them alternate accommodation immediately, they would all be in one place.
They are not in one building. They are with their relatives. They have to come. They have to sign and take the possession. It's identified. It is with assistant commissioner involved. The PAPs are ready. Order is given by municipal commissioner, and the allotment will be done immediately. So, if they would have been at one place, BMC officers would have gone there and given them. That we can arrange. Even MLA Ram Kadam,
she knows about this.
Has taken everybody to Chief Minister. Chief Minister
one second.
Binita. The identifying and doing this took 2-3 days. Now it is being identified. Now people may opt.
Binita ko bolne dijiye, please. Binita ko bolne dijiye. Binita, go ahead. You don't have to wait for me to call upon you, Binita. You can interject whenever you want to. Go ahead.
Okay. So, yes, I didn't want to interrupt because there are prestigious people who are on the desk. On the dais, I don't want to disturb them when they are talking. Just because of that, I pleaded you to let me talk for a minute. Mr. Ram Kadam, let me explain. Mr. Ram Kadam has been a pillar of strength. I will not deny that fact at all. He has been in touch with me since day one. But he also needs certain permissions from the authorities to sign that papers. He is running from pillar to post with us. I will have no doubts to say this at all. There is Kirit Somaya who took out his time and came and met us. I am still not denying that. But all I am requesting is, when we are told that, you know, within certain days we will get something, why has it not come yet? And let me tell you, yesterday entire day, entire building was accommodated. Let me tell you, we also made a WhatsApp group where I am, you know, with everybody in the building. We made a WhatsApp group so that everybody is on the same page of what each and everyone is speaking. For that same reason, we are all on the WhatsApp group, and yesterday entire building, because investigation is going on, and certain of the, we are helping the investigative officers and structural engineers to understand how a building was. Everybody from the building was there at the BMC. I was begging on every day on Facebook, every day on social media, please help us, get us a home, get us a temporary shelter. Only my request is, yes, whatever you want, I'll put it at my home. Whichever political party supports me, I don't have problem putting it at my home. A single wall will be dedicated to it. But please, get me a home. Let's not play with lives of my mother and dad and everybody in the family who have lost their lives. They don't know what are they up to. There are people who are broken because of all this. You guys are blaming each other. Think about people. Don't let the blame game happen anymore. I am tired. I need to go back to Hyderabad. I need to go and work again. I'm going to lose my job. I need to be back. I need to get out of this. I'm sorry.
Mr. Shirsat, one second. Mr. Shirsat, are you still going to tell me that you want these families to come to you and sign papers?
No.
Are you telling me that the government cannot find it in its heart?
Government can definitely find them. Government will require some time to identify, time to allot, time to get approval. It is not. It is not in one person's hand.
देखिए आप लोगों ने क्या हाल बना रखा है शहर का?
See, Mr. Ram Kadam has done all the procedure. The procedure has been already done.
Please
within a day or two, the houses will be allotted. 270 square feet.
Within a day or 2 days or 3 days? Give me a deadline. A day or 2 days or 3 days? How many days?
2 days.
2 days. 2 days from today. I am going to hold the chief minister.
I'll come and take that home from you. Please give it to me.
प्लीज अलाउ मी फे,
राजीव
प्लीज अलाउ मी फे। आप देख रही हैं कि सिर्फ 12 परिवार जिस मकान में रहते थे, वो मकान के गिरने के बाद स्थिति क्या हुई है। इसका मतलब कि महाराष्ट्र सरकार डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट को लेकर के कितनी तैयार है, आप देख सकती हैं। एक इन लोगों को अल्टरनेट हाउसिंग अरेंजमेंट कर पाने में अगर 7 दिन 8 दिन हो चुके हैं और अभी भी 2 दिन का समय मांगा जा रहा है, तो हम कितने तैयार हैं डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के लिए, ये आपको बताना चाहता हूं। दूसरा एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात पे कि आपको मैं बताता हूं सरकार कैसे काम कर रही है। जब हम लोगों ने यूएलसी रिपील एक्ट लाया था, जो यूएलसी की अर्बन लैंड सीलिंग, अब मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, वो यूएलसी रिपील एक्ट लाते वक्त ये हम लोगों ने डिसाइड किया था, गवर्नमेंट ने डिसाइड किया था कि यहां पर जितने भी बिल्डिंग बनेंगे उसमें से 15% जो फ्लैट्स होंगे वो गवर्नमेंट को हैंड ओवर किए जाएंगे। ये उसमें क्लाउज थे और वो 15% फ्लैट अभी तक गवर्नमेंट को हैंड ओवर नहीं किए गए। और गवर्नमेंट ने अभी कुछ दिन पहले की बात बता रहा हूं, गवर्नमेंट ने अब यह डिसीजन लिया है कि हम इसमें पेनाल्टी लेकर के बिल्डर्स को वो पूरा 100% जो 15% फ्लैट जो गवर्नमेंट के खाते में आने थे वो हम दे देंगे। व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन? अरे ये चीज आप कर क्या रहे हो? किन लोगों के साथ खेल रहे हो? आज आपके पास एक 12 फ्लैट की बिल्डिंग गिरी है और आपके पास एक अल्टरनेट एकोमोडेशन देने को चीज नहीं है। और फिर एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैं सिरसाट साहब को बताना चाहता हूं, जो आज गवर्नमेंट का प्रवक्ता बनकर के यहां बैठे हैं। फिर ये मेरे हाथ में एक चिट्ठी है म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर की। एक म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर यूडी सेक्रेटरी को एक केस में जो इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन से संबंधित केस था उसमें एक लेटर लिखता है और कहता है कि ये जो आप रेगुलराइजेशन का आप प्रयास कर रहे हैं ये डिजास्टर को बुलाने के बराबर है। वो म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर की चिट्ठी मेरे हाथ में है, तुकाराम मुंडे की। और उस म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर को उसी दिन ट्रांसफर कर दिया जाता है, जिस दिन वो म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर के ऑर्डर के आदमी मतलब इस लेटर के आधार पर हाई कोर्ट एक बड़ा जजमेंट देती है और गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसी को रद्द करती है, उसी दिन उस म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर का ट्रांसफर कर दिया जाता है। और फिर अगर आप ये पूरा लेटर पढ़ेंगे म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर का, तो आपको मालूम होगा कि उन्होंने कैसे बताया है।
I have a question, right? You're making a very fair point, and the point you made about disaster management is even more important. I have a very simple question. There were a certain number of families in this particular building. It was not 100, it was not 200. How difficult would it have been for the government through its disaster management cell, which we're supposed to have in Maharashtra, to have moved them all into a hotel, given each family one room? They would have all been in the same place. You would have been able to contact them easily. You would have been able to give them whatever belongings of theirs had been recovered from the rubble easily. You would have then been able to process any sort of temporary housing and permanent housing with them easily. There would have been one place where you could have reached them all. Is it that difficult to do? Our travel desk in the office can do it, Mr. Shirsat. Why wasn't it done?
No, it is not difficult to do it. But when you are spending government money, certain norms are there and certain sanctions
disaster? No. Are you telling me your disaster relief fund requires signatures? Is that what a disaster relief fund does?
Disaster relief fund doesn't have any accommodation. Accommodation is normally made in a schools, and it is made in government schools. Let me complete. Government schools and municipal schools. These people would have been shifted to the nearest municipal school where they could have been housed. But these families are from lower middle class and middle class families. They would not have opted to go for a school, and it would not have been appropriate. Making some area, they should have been given a decent home, and the decent home took some time.
It's still taking time. It still hasn't come.
Yeah, it will be done.
So what would have happened, please tell me, what would have happened if there was a family who did not have a relative to live with in Mumbai? Where would that family have gone? For 7 days. It has now been 7 days. You're still saying two more days. Where would they have gone?
That problem is definitely there.
से कहेंगी तो मैं कहूंगा कि इनको वर्षा में जाना चाहिए, इनको वर्षा में जाके रहना चाहिए। अगर मैं कहता हूं
when there is a mishap, we are making arrangements in municipal schools or nearby municipal properties, but these people would not have preferred to live there. Ram Kadam is personally moving around with this local MLA and local MP Kirit Somaiya. Everybody visited and everybody is behind this.
It is not that. Binita, go ahead. Binita, but let me just point out one thing. One second, don't make this about yourselves. Let me point out one point here. Binita, go ahead.
I want to add a point here to what sir is saying. Yes, there is no doubt that Mr. Ram Kadam was the first person who told us that, think your home, my home as one and the same, come and stay in our home. Yes, there is no doubt he told me about this, and he is running from pillar to post. I do not have a single doubt about that. But we are continuously following up with him. There is Kirit Somaiya who offered us help. Under anything you need help, this is my call number, you call me. Only these two people are supporting us, who are standing by us. Where are the other people? Where did they all go away suddenly?
Did anybody from the Shiv Sena come to... One second. Did anybody from the Shiv Sena...
Please respond, Mr.
Gentlemen, please. Did anybody from the Shiv Sena come and meet you, Binita?
No one at all. Since I was an ex-journalist, I get to know every other day what they are doing, what my media friends are doing, where are they standing. There has been absolutely no reply. In fact, I got one statement where they had said that he was not a Sena leader. Now, I was under a shock saying that just a few years back, when he claimed himself as a Sena leader, when I had a water fight with him, what happened to it suddenly? Media reports also claim the same, that his wife has contested elections and she has lost it. Some kind of a case is running against that. I don't know the details of it, but yes, there is a clarity on that his wife has contested elections and he was a Sena man. There was nobody who had come and even spoken to me about it. In fact, on my social media, I have tweeted each and every person on my Facebook. I am making sure my videos are seen by number of people so that today People of India support me. Today, people of India should take this building as an example so that they don't face it tomorrow. This nightmare that I am going through, nobody
should go through. Nobody should go through. You know, Yasmin asks a very good question. Yasmin has written to us saying, why can't the Maharashtra government give these families a government guest house? Isn't there an MLA guest house in the city of Mumbai?
See, MLA guest house we can definitely give tomorrow.
So give tomorrow.
But these people staying in Ghatkopar, shifting to Nariman Point and all, will not be feasible. They have got.
तो करो आप ऑफर करने के बाद डिनाई करेंगे तो बात करो ना ऑफर तो करो
कुछ ऑफर किया है मिश्रा जी
अरे ऑफर करते तो ऐसे रोते हुए दिखाई पड़ती है
ऑफर किया
ऐसे रोते हुए दिखाई पड़ती है
नहीं राम कदम ने अपना खुद का घर ऑफर किया है जो बड़ा है
राम कदम का घर नहीं चाहिए आप एमएलए गेस्ट हाउस क्यों नहीं देते
घर बड़ा है उन्होंने ऑफर किया सब कुछ ऑफर किया है but let us be practical
not only for Binita not only for Binita there are 12 families
all 12 families we cannot keep in municipal schools they are from middle class families
MLA guest house
they can be offered tomorrow are they ready just ask them it is in Nariman Point ask them if they are ready I will make arrangement tomorrow
Binita is there anyone from the building that needs to move into the MLA guest house to be close to Mantralaya and to be able to process this? It can be arranged for tomorrow morning.
Yes, I just want to add a point here. I need to take and speak to everybody from the building, and it is going to be a collaborative decision of what we come ahead with. Because most of my dad, if you ask my dad, I think it's not going to be feasible to go to Nariman Point and say, because my dad has a business which he works in Ghatkopar in Maulana compound. That's why my dad runs a business. Similarly, there is a central point where we all have been saying the only request that we have was give us a PAP flat. I think today Mr. Prakash Mehta had announced that they are going to give a SRA flat nearby in the vicinity because we all know people there. We all are used to with what we have been living. We don't want to change our lifestyle suddenly to something else. All our belongings, whatever little rubble from the rubble, whatever little we could gather, like few clothes and everything, are still lying at my, relatives' home. It's just there. We want to take that and move to a nearby vicinity so that they are still attached to the building. Because once we go to Nariman Point is what I believe, for me to travel to Ghatkopar every day to see what happened with the redevelopment, I know this is going to be a very big task for everybody here who have lived in this society.
Right.
Just to get a temporary
let me bring in Sulakshana Mahajan.
To get a final home, I don't know how much I'll have to struggle.
Sulakshana Mahajan, tell me this. Obviously, this is not the best case scenario of disaster management. This should have been handled differently. Part of urban planning, town planning is to be ready for disasters. Do you think that the government has handled this disaster well? What could they have done differently? What can they still do better?
No. See, we have put too many eggs into the basket of the government. Government is unable to cope up with it. There are no people who have a sense of responsibility. There are no people who understand the intricacies. There are no people who understand the existing laws and their impact on hundreds and thousands of people, not just Ghatkopar building. But in a charged environment like this, you cannot come up with solutions, and the solutions have to come up which are for everyone, not just Ghatkopar building. How many people, if tomorrow 10 such buildings collapse within a week, is government able to find accommodation? Is government able to provide for housing? It is impossible. So don't trust, I don't trust any of the politicians or any of this government, because they have missed, the complete system has to be revamped and regulated from bottom up. And that's what I'm suggesting, bottom-up approach, that people should take responsibility of their own buildings in their hand. Suppose it was my own bungalow, I would not run from pillar to post to give me alternate accommodation if the slab comes crashing down. So if it cannot be done for individual building, it should also be same for a cooperative building, because it's a private cooperative society and the members individually and collectively should be given freedom and responsibility, and not the distant politicians who are actually reaping. They're promising, but they can't keep promise. They don't know what to do. They are not able to find solutions.
They're not able to. I shudder to think what will happen in an overpopulated city like Mumbai if we were to have another flood, or worse still, some other kind of natural disaster. How would this government cope if they can't cope with one building and 12 families?
They're simply not.
Yeah. Certainly not. Shiv Shankar on the phone line from Vashi.
They have no knowledge. They don't have.
They're not prepared at all. Okay, Shiv Shankar, just hold on for 1 sec. Binita wants to say something. Binita, make your point, and then I'll go back to the caller. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to add a point here that yes, whatever is happening is disastrous. But at the same time, I want to only ask one thing. Today, the CM, the PM, everybody, all the ministers are there for the people, by the people. Why is it so difficult to meet a CM? Why it becomes so difficult to meet a PM? It should not be that difficult. Let them talk to people. Let them respond to people. I've seen Mr. Modi ji replying to n number of tweets. I wish to understand that why don't we have personally, why can't they, look into some important issues? Not that I'm saying only my issue is important. There are hundreds of things. There is an Assam flood that happened. There are a number of disastrous things that are happening in the country. I wish to only beg everybody that I think the process, the two-way communication should happen. Not only people should go and, say to the government, but I think government also should come and talk to people. Today, when I spoke to so many of my friends, they said, Binita, तू मरने वाली है, तेरी वाट लगने वाली है, क्योंकि तू एक दुनिया से दूसरे दुनिया में जाएगी, तू यहाँ भागेगी, वहाँ भागेगी. Do you know what? I've made my brain that, every week alternatively, I have to fly from Hyderabad to Mumbai only because I need to get a home for my mother and father. Only because of that, at this age, I cannot expect them to run from one corner to other. But yes, at the same time, I am a mother. A 2-year-old daughter is sitting there. Every single day I leave her, I run from pillar to post, I hear her on the phone. Nothing that, it's been totally the world crashing down. What did my daughter do? I cannot even spend time with her. What did the 3-month-old do that you took her life? There are a number of questions that have come to my head. I do not have answers for it. Why is there no answer is my bigger question today.
Why is there no answer? Let me just take a few phone calls right now. Shiv Shankar on the phone line from Vashi. Shiv Shankar, yes, go ahead.
Madam.
Yes.
Hello, madam. I am a qualified safety engineer. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Madam, I am a safety engineer. I am specially trained in disaster management and therefore competent enough to speak on this subject.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Now, let us understand one thing. Hello. This is not an isolated event. This has been happening with periodicity every year. It has happened in Mumbai. It has happened in Sion. This tampering with the load-bearing pillars, load-bearing beams and columns is not a new thing in Bombay. It cannot happen without the connivance of municipal authorities and the government itself. The local goons are in the business of altering and modifying buildings. Hello?
Yes, local goons are in the business of altering and modifying buildings. This is not a one-off. This has happened in the past. Neil Pereira on the phone line from Bandra West. Go ahead, Neil.
Good evening, Faye.
Good evening.
My heart goes out to the people, from Ghatkopar who have lost this. But it is sad, this BMC, which is the most corrupt department, people from NCP and Congress are responsible for the foundation of this corruption. I have told even Prithviraj Chavan on his face that BMC stands for Bombay's most corrupt department. We have so much of illegal construction in the Cowton. It is full connivance with the BMC staff. You have got a sub-engineer, you have got a junior engineer, you've got an assistant engineer, you've got a ward officer. What do they come on duty to do? Only to make money? Only to make money. Every department in the BMC is corrupt. Every department in the BMC. The building proposal is the biggest den of corruption, which is the milking cow for all political parties. And everybody, that's why want to come into power and want to stand for a corporator, an MLA and an MP just to make money. That is what is happening in India, and that is what is happening all over Bombay and everywhere. We have a garden, we have illegal constructions. In 93, I've been complaining about this illegal construction, but nothing is being done. Everything is being suppressed, and 1 floor is being raised. In fact, they are on I-beams, in between one of the floor collapsed, but the BMC does nothing about it.
Absolutely.
It's
extremely, and we have to examine the fact that, this is Asia's most richest corporation. There is more money in the Mumbai corporation than anywhere else in the continent. Obviously, it is only going to breed the corrupt. Avinash Narula on the phone line from Delhi. Avinash, go ahead.
Yeah, Faye, good show. I actually thought that it is better to let Binita speak because, what she's speaking, it really touches your heart. I hope some politicians and the BMC people hear her. But quick points. One, this is a all India problem. You come to Delhi, 90% of the buildings, houses, won't have completion certificates. Safety is not an issue. Nobody talks about safety or fire safety. It's a no-no. Second point, 10 days, they can't find a house, 17 flats. A government can't find 17 flats, and in 2 days, they topple a government, they get the chief minister sworn in. Okay? What is the response of the government? 2 lakhs per person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I've watched your shows. Most of your shows have one solution, and it's a difficult solution. The solution is we need to get rule of law. You see, everybody does it. Nobody gets caught. Nobody gets. This is become a high-profile case. You'll find maybe some people are thrown behind bars. But this is a regular feature. Buildings fall down. You complain to anybody. I have complained about something to a Noida authority, and they don't care about it. So the rule of law needs to come in. There are good laws available, but nobody implements them. The only solution is you need to get the cops out of the control of the politicians. Unless we do that, nothing is going to happen. I can tell you, everything will go as it is, which is going on. So the rule of law.
Right. Okay. I have to wrap this up, but I am going to leave this entire panel and the people who are watching with a couple of thoughts. As far as Binita Ramchandani is concerned and the rest of the people in her building, we are on this channel going to track every single promise that has been made to these people of temporary housing, of permanent housing, of, the 2 lakh rupees that's coming from the PMO, the money that is coming from the CMO, any promise that you have made to the press about these people will be tracked personally by this channel, will be tracked personally by me. We will rake this up over and over again to make sure that these people are actually looked after and that the victims of blatant and shameless corruption are looked after by the city who voted these people in. This is our fault. What happened to Binita is our fault. Yours and mine and everybody else who voted for these politicians, in spite of the fact that we knew that they are corrupt, in spite of the fact that we knew that this is what they do, this is their modus operandi, we decided to vote for them. This is on us. We have to look after these people. We have to make sure that they get their houses. We have to make sure that their children go to school again, that they have books, that they have pens, that they have shoes, that their homes are done. We have to also make sure that the officers in the BMC who actually signed these papers are charged with multiple counts of murder. Multiple counts of murder. Because their corruption has caused death. There is no two ways about it. There are politicians and there are officials who have killed people. And we will push until these people are behind bars without bail through a fast-track court to wind up in prison where they belong. Not just to make sure that they will never hurt anybody else again, but to make sure that those people who put pen to paper inside every corporation office in this country have the fear of law in their hearts. So they never ever endanger the life of another Indian. That is my promise tonight to the citizens of Mumbai and especially to the residents of the building in Ghatkopar that collapsed. Thanks for watching.